Hey everybody, Dan here. Sometimes life has a way of stopping you in your tracks and reminding you what really matters. On February 15th, one of my best friends suddenly just stopped living. And even now, that sentence feels strange to say out loud. His son called me out of the blue, and honestly, I thought he was just going to tell me another cool story from one of the three sequential cruises he and his wife were taking throughout the month of February. That was the kind of life they were living: adventure, travel, new experiences, always moving, always planning something, always asking, what's next? But instead of hearing another great story, I heard the words nobody expects to hear. My friend had suffered a heart attack while on the ship, and honestly, when I later heard the details, it almost sounded surreal. He had spent the day with his wonderful wife surrounded by warm Caribbean sunshine and beautiful blue water in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. He had eaten a delicious meal, listened to live music, done some writing, which was one of his greatest passions, and watched golf on television at a course he had himself had actually played on before. And then, in a split second, his life here on earth was over. At his memorial service, his wife said something so beautiful and so powerful that I honestly do not think I will ever forget it. She said, "For me, I would love an ending where he is still by my side, conquering his next big what's next. But maybe there is no happier end than to have a great day on earth and in a split second begin the adventure of life in heaven with Jesus Christ, surrounded by cherished loved ones." That hit me hard, really hard. And today I want to talk about that, not just about losing a friend, but what it means to really live. On this channel, I talk about things I've experienced, things I've used, lessons I've learned, things I've loved, and even some things I've regretted. Real experiences, real lessons, and things I'm still learning. And this lesson, this one, is one of the biggest. Because my friend was one of those rare people who truly lived every single day of his life. And I think there are lessons in his life that all of us need to hear. I knew him for over 30 years. We actually started out working together when he was beginning a new adventure in life while raising 5 young children with his wife, homeschooling them while building a future together. And almost immediately, we connected. You know how every once in a while you meet somebody and it just feels like they are on the same wavelength as you? That was him for me. We thought alike, we dreamed alike, we planned alike. We were always discussing ideas, always asking questions, always looking at life and thinking, how could we do this better? How could we improve this or that? How could we automate this? How could we create something meaningful? What's next? At his memorial, they had bookmarks made up that simply said, "What's next?" And honestly, I cannot think of a better phrase to summarize both his life and our friendship. Because he didn't just think about what was next, he planned it, detailed it out, studied it, researched it, and then actually went and did it. That mindset inspired me more than I probably even realized at the time. Even now, I still think that way because of him. What's next? How can we improve this? How can we make life more meaningful? How can we build something better? How can we create systems that work on their own? How can we use technology wisely? How can we spend more time doing what matters most? And honestly, there never seemed to be enough time when we got together. Sometimes we would meet at his house, sometimes at mine, sometimes at restaurants for breakfast that literally lasted 3 hours. 3 hours, and somehow we still felt like we had more to discuss. Faith, family, business, books, travel, ideas, technology, adventure, sports, the Bible, artificial intelligence, writing, retirement, dreams. There was always another conversation waiting to happen. One of the things that I admired most about him was that he generally lived life, not recklessly, not foolishly, but fully. Some of his adventures were right up my alley. Things like hiking, camping, fishing, and exploring. He would take his boys hiking and camping on Royale in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Now, if you know anything about Royale, that's not exactly a casual weekend trip. That is an adventure. And I loved hearing about those experiences. I never personally did Royale myself, but honestly, I lived a little bit vicariously through him. And because of those conversations, I found myself doing smaller adventures too. Camping in national forests, exploring more, getting outside more, thinking differently about experiences and memories. Because both of us believe something very strongly. Your children will long remember the adventures you gave them more than the things you bought them. And I believe that even more that today than I did back then, really. Kids forget toys, they forget possessions, but they remember campfires, road trips, fishing trips, hiking trails, laughing together, getting lost together, solving problems together. Shared adventures become family stories that last generations. And he understood that deeply. He also loved hiking, and I was blessed to spend time with him hiking portions of the North Country Trail through Michigan. Now, this man didn't just casually hike. He hiked across Michigan on the Shore to Shore Trail. Then later hiked from Indiana all the way into Michigan's Upper Peninsula on the North Country Trail. Man. And then, because that still wasn't enough, he wrote a book about it. He created map packets for others. And then he toured libraries speaking about the experience. I actually got to attend one of those library stops, and honestly, it fit him perfectly because he always used to say his favorite place was the library. Who says that anymore? But he meant it. He loved learning, loved reading, loved ideas. He loved the knowledge that you get in the discovery. And honestly, I think that constant curiosity is part of what kept him so alive all the time. Some people stop growing long before they stop breathing. He never did. He stayed curious right until the very end. And in every conversation, faith was always there, always. We would talk about God, about Scripture, about things he had read, things I had listened to on Audible, questions about the Bible, questions about theology, questions about life, trying to understand God more deeply, trying to become better men, better husbands, better fathers, just better followers of Christ. And he truly loved his wife and his family. You could see it in everything he did. His adventures were not about escaping life. They were about experience life together. And honestly, I think it's something that our culture has forgotten. A lot of people are existing, but not really living. A lot of people are consuming, but not really experiencing. A lot of people are scrolling, but they're not really connecting at all. So my friend connected deeply with God, with his wife, with his children, with his brothers, with his friends. Even golf became a way for him to strengthen relationships with the people he loved. That matters. There was this adventure, one of the craziest chapters of his life happened after he retired early. Through a series of misplaced paperwork and unexpected conversations, he ended up moving to China for 2 years. Now think about that. Most people retire and slowly shrink their world. He expanded his. And while living there, he traveled all over parts of the world he never expected to see. Australia, Europe, Asia, new cultures, new experiences. Man, new adventures. And of course, he would share all those stories with me, and honestly, I felt blessed just hearing about them because his excitement about life was contagious. He made you want to do more, learn more, see more, experience more. And then there was business and technology. As the world became more and more automated and more online, we were always discussing ideas, how to create income streams that could work on their own, how to automate systems, how technology could free people up to actually live more. And he absolutely loved AI, especially GPT. In fact, he called ChatGPT Chet, which honestly makes me smile now because I kind of stole the idea from him and I now call him Chet. He was fascinated by the possibilities, teaching AI to write in his style, using technology creatively, combining writing and automation. And honestly, I truly believe he would have written at least another dozen books if he had more time here on Earth. Everything was starting to come together for him. But maybe that's another lesson too. None of us know how much time we actually have. We all think there'll be another year, another decade, another opportunity, another tomorrow. And one day there isn't. So, losing somebody like this really forces you to think. Am I really living, or am I just existing? Am I putting things off that matter? Am I spending enough time with the people I love? Am I pursuing the adventures God put in my heart? Am I still curious, still growing, still learning, still moving forward? Because my friend truly squeezed life out of every day, and I don't mean that in some shallow motivational speaker way. I mean genuinely. He lived with purpose, with faith, with curiosity, with excitement, with intentionality. And honestly, I think a lot of us quietly assume that we have more time than we do. We delay trips, delay conversations. We delay our dreams and even delay forgiveness. We delay adventure, delay writing the book, delay starting the business, delay taking the hike, delay telling people we love them. But eventually, one day really is the last day for all of us, and none of us know when that day will come. So what strikes me so deeply about my friend's passing is this: he did not slowly stop living before he died. He was fully engaged with life right until the end. He was dreaming, planning, writing, traveling, laughing, learning, experiencing, loving, believing. Man. And honestly, if there is such a thing as a beautiful earthly ending, there is something incredibly meaningful about spending your final day beside the person you love, surrounded by beauty, doing things you genuinely enjoy before stepping into eternity in a single instant. And that brings me back again to what his wife had said, because I think she captured something profound. Maybe there is no happier end than to have a great day on earth in a split second begin the adventure of a life in heaven with Jesus Christ. What perspective, what faith, what grace in the middle of grief. And maybe that's why I wanted to make this video, because I think all of us need reminders like this. Life is so fragile, but life is also incredibly beautiful, and every single ordinary day is actually a gift. Maybe you've had a friend like this too. Somebody who truly lived, somebody who loved God, loved family, loved adventure, loved ideas, loved learning, loved people, loved life. If you do, cherish those memories. I know I will, for a very long time. And maybe all of us should start asking ourselves the same question my friend always asked. What's next? Not just financially or professionally, but spiritually, relationships, in our physical life, in our because eventually one day we will actually all be our last. And until then, maybe we should truly live, really live, with faith and gratitude and curiosity, with purpose, with love, with adventure. I thank my friend for the mindset we shared, and I hope to continue living my own life with that same zest and zeal for knowledge, achievement, faith, family, and adventure. I hope you will too. If this video meant something to you, I'd love for you to subscribe here at Dan Procopio, where every Monday and Thursday I share real experiences, real lessons, things I've learned, things I've loved, and even a few things that I've regretted along the way. Because life moves fast, and maybe together we can all learn to live it a little bit more fully. Until next time, have a phenomenal day. Thanks for taking the time to be here.